back to my channel. All truths will be revealed. I'm Empress Sophia El Bey, and today I have King Abdul Mumin, Mumin El. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. And today we are going to go over a case that and charges that have been erroneously filed on King after uh, we had a hearing on March the 30th with this fake judge, David Allen Larson. And I wanted to bring King Abdul on so that we can start where we left off the last time we were going live. So, welcome to my channel, King Abdul.
Well, thank you very much, Empress Sophia
Oh, you're
Elbeck.
welcome.
Yes,
So, what I want to do is talk about the hearing that we were involved in on Zoom because it was our courts. And I'm also a witness because I was there with you. Is that correct?
correct.
Okay. And I remember uh, you educating this judge, and he would listen. And you started educating him on the law, the supreme law of the land. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so while we were in this hearing, can you further expand on your thoughts about what this judge has done? And I want to talk about what has transpired since that hearing of these new fake charges that have been brought against you by Judge David Allen Larson. King?
Yes, yes, yes. He's mad because I beat him up in open court. He had no defense or no legs to stand on while he was doing his human trafficking of many people, and not only Empress Light, but many people. And he found that he was playing right, or he found out that he knew he was lying, and he had to go on to his strategy of no matter what we say with the truth, they're going to win. As long as they have the Pharaoh's children's ink pen, uh, we're going to lose. So we have to get our ink pens back. That's the reason why I was in that court in the first place, to go to the White House to remove Joe Biden and the rest of these con men that's in our places. And so
Absolutely.
he was really mad because he charged me as practicing law in the state of Washington, if you remember that part. And
Yes, I do.
when he challenged me, I said, let's test it. And he wasn't ready for the test. He got beat up. And the final results is that he all the time they had to plan to make sure that we lose at all costs, even if the truth has to be destroyed by them. They don't care nothing about
Yes.
the truth. All those
No, they
lawyers and
don't.
judges, yeah, they're all Masons, criminals, the Illuminati. They ain't nobody
Mhm.
cool at all. They wear the
Yes.
sheep's clothing, but they're really the wolves, and they
Yes,
just
they are.
devour everybody. They human traffic the children, take your homes, send people to prison, everything they can do to you. That's what they do. They're war criminals.
Yes, they are. And I've thought, during that hearing, you asked him, did you take an oath of office? You directly asked him that. And what did he tell you? What did he say?
Well, basically, I challenged him on his bond, and he knew he was after we went over the Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution, which is a bogus document uh, used to enslave the Moors and the Europeans. Uh, he found out that Article 6, Paragraph 2 had him bound to the Moorish Empire or the Moors, as well as the United States citizens and the Christian powers. And he found
Yes.
out that he couldn't live here and have a job here, and he was just not qualified, and he was just through. And
Yeah.
all he was doing was just lying and cheating as usual. That's all he can do. They're no
Yes.
good. These people no good. They're the worst
No.
things ever.
Yeah. And then I noticed, he wouldn't stop talking, and then I had to interject, sir, please allow King to explain to you. And he would stop, and then he would let you finish explaining. Not explaining, you were educating this criminal. And so then he got offended when you said that they couldn't live here, and you also brought up the guillotine for treason, which
Yes, that's
is
correct.
not threatening anyone. I never heard you threaten him, and you corrected it immediately on record for everyone to hear in that Zoom hearing. Did you not?
I did. I made
Okay.
sure that he knew I wasn't threatening him, and that it was the guillotine is there for the high treason of all the war criminals that's been human trafficking Moorish Americans and killing them for sport and others.
Hmm.
And and I let him know that he's a human trafficker. He knows he's a human trafficker.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
Yes, he does. And you even corrected yourself on the record, he still reverted back to his going to be the judge and traffic Empress light to jury light. And
yes, yes,
and he still ruled against her when he had no right to do so. None whatsoever. And he did it anyway, correct?
correct.
All out in the open so everyone could see, even though he was educated and you were telling him, hey, wait, and you were in control of that court, King. And I commend you for doing an excellent job dealing with that human trafficker. But
Thank you for the compliment.
even though he ruled not in favor of, because he's practicing law on the bench, which he shouldn't be doing anyway. So that's an oxymoron of him, and he didn't pay attention.
Mhm.
So once he hurried up and ruled in this case, what happened next? Because it's some foulness of what those criminals inside that courthouse are doing to you right now, King. And they have come up with some fake, bogus charges, criminal charges against King in court. And can you let everyone know what these charges are that they just came up with out of thin air?
Well, they have one felony charge against me for, or in the name of Joseph Stanley Piggott instead of King Abdul Mumin. And uh, the the charge is about some kind of threat for um, saying I was going to choke him out or something. I don't know. And as you made it clear, that I made it clear on the record that I told him it was only in words,
Yes,
and that's what I was talking about, the power of my words versus his lies. And
yes,
so I got a phone call shortly after that conference or that hearing from after a Federal Way police officer called my home. I sent you the recording of the calls,
yes,
and
and it, yes, he did.
yeah, and he he had called and asked to see if he could have permission to talk to me, And I said, well, it depended on what we was going to talk about before I could even give him permission. He just busted in on my phone, talking all fast, trying to act like he was on TV, and he was a big bad police officer. And I asked him one of the questions about why are you calling me, and I said, did you talk about this case with the judge and the prosecutor? And he
Hmm.
said, yeah. And basically, they had conspired with no probable cause to call me and get information to marshal some kind of facts to conjure a criminal, a felony charge against me with no probable cause or no reasons or anything. So anyway, to make a long story short, he was asked by me at the end. I said, "Well, do you have any probable cause or a treaty violation to call me?" He says, "No." So I told him shortly after that, I didn't feel comfortable talking to him about the conversation he was trying to have with me about the court hearing uh, with this fake judge, David Allen Larson, the kangaroo court player.
But why would he call you during an active case? An active case. Isn't that odd, don't you think? That
Oh,
he would.
yes, it's highly unreasonable. And I asked him, I said, well, didn't you see my notice of appearance? He says, yeah, I seen your paperwork. Well, then I told him, basically, you're wrong. I shouldn't have to explain to you that if I got a notice of appearance on the file, why isn't basically, to me, I'm saying to him, I didn't say it. I'm just basically making him think, well, why isn't it that the prosecutor is not calling me? Why are
Right,
you calling me?
right.
So his whole spiel was that, well, can I just call you because I want to call you? Hell
Oh.
no. We're not cool. You're the
No,
enemy. If I can get you,
absolutely.
I'm gonna get you. I'm
Yeah,
gonna lock you up too and chop your head off. You know me. The guillotine is coming
yes.
for all of these.
It is.
We don't have, yeah. They got to get it. They need to
Yes,
leave
they
our
do.
country right away.
They sure
Right away.
do. And
It's
they
overdue.
and they and they also need to, because we don't want them to come back. They can dig up their loved ones who they've buried in the ground and drag them with them, because they're not coming
Exactly.
back here for no kind of ceremony. Oh, my loved ones. No. You dig them up
Nothing.
and you take them with you. We
Take them
want
with you.
you off our land. We have not had any peace in this world since these people have been around. And it's
Yeah.
time for them to go back. No more of this. No
No
more
more.
human trafficking. And they need to give us our Pharaoh's children's pins, you know.
Exactly.
And, I was watching this G7 summit
You're right.
last week, and them all these Europeans signing these G7 trade agreements with our pen. We're coming to get
Exactly.
all those Pharaoh's children's pen globally, because
Globally.
they do not and cannot represent nobles. And that's the fraud that they've run against the people. And
The
then,
world.
yes, and then I watched this Juneteenth garbage, of making it a
Mm,
federal holiday. And I
right.
watched them use this old lady, and she has Joe Biden gives her the pen of the Juneteenth law that he had signed. I wanted to throw up, really, because
Mm,
they're just blatant in our faces, and they think we don't know. That's the worst part of it. That is the gall of these beasts, and they need to go.
they
But
will
so,
go.
yeah, so where can if people want to donate to help you fight these felony charges, criminal charges, can you give us your information on record here so that they can donate to you? and that these Moors can help with you fighting this case. And so we can go and get the pen at the White House because ultimately that is the goal. We want the
That's the
keys
goal.
and we want the pen, and
The
we have
pens
to get
first.
there. Absolutely. So,
Yeah, we got to get the pen.
absolutely. So, if you can give your, if you have PayPal, just put it out there if you could right now, and they can find you and find your YouTube channel, and I'm sure there's a link there on that, or
Yes.
they can you can donate through me too. I have a donation button on my YouTube channel, and this isn't the last of our conversations that we're going to have, but these people have got to go, and I'm not allowing them to come and take any more of our moors, and they're not
Exactly.
going to get the opportunity to come and try to take you again. Oh no, that's never going to happen. And it's time
Mhm.
all Moors stood up. And I hope they're listening to this live because, King, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. And I'm walking lock and step with you. And we are nothing to play with because we're not playing
Nothing
these games anymore. It's
at all.
over.
Straight over.
Yeah. But I really
Mhm.
appreciate you taking the time out to come on my video. And I'm sure we will have more. But the most important thing is another thing I wanted to say. Were you ever served with these new fake charges that they put on you? Did you ever get a notice or anything like that to?
No notice. No. Never been served any documents. But how I did get a notice was my YouTube channel. I looked on my notices and I got a note or a message from the King County uh, uh, Public Defender's Office from the Council of Association of Accused or something like that. Left me a note
Wow.
and a phone number to call him to tell because he said he had some information for me. And when I called him, uh, I got through the process of being able to qualify to be able to speak to the man. His name
Mhm.
is Mr. Kellyman, and he left me the information saying basically he was in court and he only does the first appearances. He says he was in court and they called my name, and he reached out to me to let me know that they didn't have a warrant on me yet, and but they had heard the case while I wasn't there, and so he wanted me to be able to be protected or defended by his company, which is
Mhm.
all the same people, the
Right.
Illuminati. It's no,
Mhm.
it's like anyway. That charge and the notice. That's how I got the notice through my YouTube channel, and that's on King. My YouTube channel and my PayPal account is there on King Abdul uh, Mumin L's Noble TV 7, and you can see my information there. PayPal and a lot of videos of the court hearings as well of
Okay.
this kangaroo court.
Mhm.
And yes, this whole process that they're trying to human traffic me with is the same kind of process they human traffic everybody else with. And they got
Ex-
Bill Cosby the same way. They get everybody the same way with this con game.
yes.
If they don't like
Yes.
you, they just file this summons and complaint with their buddies, and then the lawyers or who are the Illuminati and they work for the Pope and the Queen,
Mhm.
uh, Russia and the rest of these people. They they all work. They all cover it up and make it look like it's real all the
Yeah.
time. We're the masters and they're the servants. So
Well.
it's really bad what they're doing to the people playing this con game like their law is law, and it's nothing but the democratic con game to human traffic people, steal, mayhem all over the place, rape
Yeah.
and pillage. That's all they do.
That's terrible. Can you hear
Yes,
me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you crystal clear. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna be following this new fake charges because I put in and sent an email to the gentleman you were alluding to, and I never got a response. I haven't.
The public defender,
Yes,
his
I.
name is Albert All. You spell that Aull. And
Mhm.
people that's listening to this conversation, you can reach out to I'm in Washington State, and you can reach out in Seattle to speak to Albert All and ask him about this case. This case is a class action case upon which I gave Albert All court order, which is from the treaty. The treaty is a court order. The Moorish American Treaty of Peace and Friendship is a court order that's self-executing. You don't need to go to court to get another judge or fake judge to rule upon this treaty. This treaty, or the Moorish
Absolutely.
American Treaty of Peace and Friendship, is a document of the Revolutionary War where the Moors defeated the 13 colonies, and Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson and John Adams surrendered to the Moors. That's what the signing is about, and also is for the protection of the United States citizens and the Christian powers to travel throughout seven seas, as long as they uh, 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 have the proper signals, ship signals, and stuff like that as they
Hmm.
travel throughout seven seas. But
Excellent.
yes, but
Excellent.
contact King County Superior Court in Kent, and you can pull up the name Joseph Stanley Piggott and get the case number and call the attorney of record. I've never gotten a notice of appearance from them either. And tell them you want to join her into the case or join the case, because I'm demanding that this case or the venue be heard right there at the White House, because this lawyer asked me. He says, what if you can't? What if the judge doesn't uh, like or want to go with the treaty, just like Judge David Larson? I said, well, look, this treaty can't be heard here because the venue is improper. This treaty was signed at the White House by Obama, and Obama knew that this treaty meant just what I'm saying about the Europeans can't live here and have a job here. And when he signed it, he had no real will to tell the Europeans, you got to go.
Yep.
And everybody's saying this president looking like them, but he's not our president. He's a Democratic con man, a killer like the rest of them.
Yep.
So wherever he looks like, he's in the same party with them. I'm a Republican. I'm from the Republican form of government, which our ancestors left here for us to control our dominions all over the world.
Yes.
So we're the Pharaoh's children. They
Yes.
have the Pharaoh's ink pen. So
And
the
have
Moors are all, go ahead,
and they have no business with it. That's the goal.
that's the
That
problem.
is the goal. And
Yeah,
then to they're imposters.
yes.
They're imposters and they're actors that have stolen generations after generations of souls and wealth and everything. And
Hmm.
today, I hope they are listening because we
They're listening.
coming for you. We
They're
are
coming.
coming for ya.
We're
Yes,
going to
we
set up a
are.
date and a time to meet at the White House
Yes,
to
we
hold
are.
this hearing, because my case is a federal criminal, and it's a federal criminal investigation against the United States government for human trafficking Moorish Americans and killing them for sport, like I was human trafficked for 10 years. My case
Mm,
had been dismissed 3 days after I called 911 after shooting this guy in self-defense. I didn't kill him or anything. It was somebody I knew real close and personal. It's a hater. I'm
wow.
giving him my love, and this guy's trying to kill me, and I don't even know it. Make a
Wow.
long story short, I had long dreads. He set me up, cut my dreads off. Oh man, this dude was a sick dude. And I put that lead on him. That lead changed his whole attitude. But I wind up doing 10 years
Wow.
uh, for nothing, for self-defense. But it's okay. That's when I was in there like a fly on the wall with the skills I have to see how to human traffic our people.
Yes.
And they never
Yes.
should have sent me in there because I'm like a news reporter. I could see stuff and go and look at it and regurgitate it back on paper as though I was there firsthand, and you can taste it and feel it and sense it and see it
Absolutely.
in your brain when I finish writing. These
Yes.
people are all human traffickers, and it's by design from the White
Yes.
House on. So
And
when they
they'll
killing
never
us,
change. They're never
yeah,
going to
until
change.
exactly. Until we take our power back, take that pen back, and the power belongs to the women. That's who controls the pen. And my job
Absolutely.
is to, yeah, my job is to ensure that the women know that they own the world. They own over 1 million miles square. Our ancestors left this in the Iroquois Constitution of 1787. Our history was basically orally spoken by storytellers. And that's
Yes.
why we don't know much about who we are when they're calling ourselves black and African American and Negro and nigger and all that stuff.
Yes.
We're the
Yes.
Pharaoh's children. Stop disrespecting ourselves. These people call us these names, and they called
Yeah.
us these names so long to where we don't even know who we are. But I know who you are. You're the
Yes.
Pharaoh's children.
Thank you,
Straightforward.
King. Thank you
And,
for
and yes. And
thank
I want to say one thing else. For the Europeans that's listening to us about when we say we're gods and stuff like that, we are the gods. That's who you write about. And
that's
you can
right.
have let me say one more thing about you Europeans. It's not a negative thing, it's what facts are. You can have a whole city of Europeans, male and female, having children, and can never have anybody with melanin in their body like this. But we, as the nobles, we can have babies and have all complexions, including the European.
Absolutely.
So
Hmm.
no, you don't have the authority or power on our land. Our ancestors are pharaohs, and
And
you
you
have
need
all. Go ahead.
absolutely, and they need to take
Yeah.
their recessive gene tails on to where they came from, because I don't know where they come from. I don't, and I say that because of the evilness, the
Yes.
everything they're about is non-human. They must have been created in some type of science experiment, because they're thinking. They have no souls. They have no moral compass. And when you have
Mm,
people like that, they're very dangerous, and they don't need to be here with us. They got to go. But I
they will
think
go.
they got to. Absolutely. And we're going to make sure of it. And we're going to be having plenty of more conversations of all truths will be revealed. And I really appreciate you coming on and picking up where we left off on the last video, where we were having audio and video problems. But now people will know about your current case and charges that they have
Yes.
against you. And I'm going to be keeping people up to date, King. And
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you coming on here and educating the people. I
You're very welcome.
appreciate you. And
Yes.
we will have this talk again, okay?
Okay.
All
Islam.
righty.
Peace and
Islam.
love.
Bye.
Bye.